Watch, I'm going to simulate that error right now, Janelle.
Instead of L1, L2.
Last data point was 3, or last frequency was 3. Okay, you ready? That. Dim mismatch. Everybody in this room at some point in their time here is going to get that error. And that's okay. It's because you enter data so much. Sometimes you enter too quickly and you forget to enter something, you enter too much of something. The word dim in computerese stands for the word dimension. Dimension, I don't know why it's called dimension, but it stands for the length of a list, how many items a list has in it. When there is a dimension mismatch, it's exactly what it sounds. The number of items in one list does not match the number of items in another list. This will only happen if you're putting L1, L2, or L1, L3. When that happens, you have to quit. You have to quit and then just go back into your lists and find the problem. The problem will be somewhere in your data entry. Right there, it's because I took out the 3 that was there. That's what made it mismatch. These lists have 7 items. This list only had 6. It needs to have the same number if you're comparing them to each other. Does that make sense? That will happen to everybody in here at some point. Totally fine, as long as you know how to deal with it. So Janelle, fix that. Everything should be fine, yes? There we go. Try it. If it doesn't work, well, it's definitely a list issue. It might not be with your data. It might be old data that's residual, but it's still a data issue. And then it'll work just fine. Cool?
Could you tell us how you got to the bars, the buttons you pushed for the bars thing again?
Oh, and this is a good time to remind you guys all of this. Remember, one of the reasons I'm so stoked about recording all this stuff is you can always go back to the previous classes and all this stuff is for better or worse, it's there for posterity. The stat button. Stat.
On there, I don't know how it got there. Okay.
Yep, stat. And then over to calc. 1 var stats. Boom, there it is.
And then push enter. And
Yeah, and then you got the L1 and
It
L3.
says invalid dim.
Invalid dim. Okay, then it's still a list issue. Let's take a look. Let's take a look.
Which
Wow.
problem right there? What the hell is
Look at
that? I don't know what that is either. It should be L3. Ah.
Well, that's the black color.
There. For whatever reason, you have N stuck in there. List N doesn't exist. That's the dimension mismatch. There we go.
Got it.
Excellent.
Would it be 2 variable stacks?
No, never. Huh?
Never?
One variable. What's the one variable? This is a forest for the trees kind of a question. Thank you for it, Kelly, by the way. We started this whole thing a while back when we were talking about what one variable were we interested in.
The data.
And what was the data in context? What were we interested in? Before that even. What was the data? Look at the words on the board. The ages of the Portland Marathon finishers. I mean, before we got into the data, the crunching and the squaring and the scumming and the swearing and the vomiting, the ages of Portland Marathon finishers. That's what you're interested in. One variable, their ages. 2 variables would be trying to see if there's a correlation, for example, between their age and their finishing place. That would be a second variable.
Got it.
244, we love that, 244. Not too much 243. I like to focus single variables, 243. Fair?
Yep.
Good question. Very good question. That's why when you go to calc in this class, stat calc, you're going to stop right here. Not this stuff below is great, but it's not relevant to what we're talking about in here. Fair. Answer more questions. Even if they're nuts and bolts questions, I love them. Think we can successfully navigate these bad boys? Good. Let's try again. Let's new data set. Brand new data set. Brand new data set. I got 2 more data sets. I might send you home with one.